Thanks for checking out a new episode of Bad Advice with Chris Cubis, the show where unqualified people give unsolicited advice. Few minor audio issues this episode. We apologize, but we didn't want to leave y'all hanging for an episode, and I'm glad I didn't, because this is a real fun one. I'm joined by Andrew Murphy and Nick Saverino. We talk stolen valor and overly affectionate sons. It gets goofy and fun, and check it out. Thanks for checking out a new episode of Bad Advice with Chris Cubis, the show where unqualified people give unsolicited advice. Thanks for checking this out again. Thanks for telling your friends to check us out. That has been awesome. Fully vaccinated, doing comedy again. The world is starting to get back to normal, which means the cops are killing unarmed children in the street at an alarming rate, because that's what we do in this fucking country. ACAB all day. Let's get out of the bummer conversation and let's get into some funner conversation. You see what I did there? That was pretty solid.
What vaccination are the cops getting?
Yeah. I don't know that they're getting one. They have the vaccination. I think it's called blanket immunity. That's what they have, where they don't have to be, you don't get to be arrested for crimes that they commit while carrying a badge. That was Nick Saverino, everybody. Nick, how's it going?
Pretty good. How about well, you already explained.
Yeah, but
so
also
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
We're doing all right. Is that you have a hat on it that says Dirt Bags? Is that a team I'm unaware of?
A friend of mine. It's the Long Beach State Dirt Bags. A buddy of mine. It was someone's birthday, and I posted on Instagram, "Happy birthday to the smartest dirt bag I know." And then his friend Cole, I think, because he saw me use the word dirt bag once, found this hat and thought, "Oh, that's the kind of hat Nick would wear." And
turns out he was right. You're currently wearing that hat.
He was right. It fits perfectly. I can't not get done wearing it. I sleep in it.
Also with us tonight, the host of The Joke of Painting at Spider House Ballroom, Andrew Murphy. What's going on, brother?
Hey, pretty good. I kind of wanted to tag onto the cop vax conversation. I feel like cops get the Johnson & Johnson because that just sounds like two cops, you know, Johnson & Johnson.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they're big babies. That's why.
Yeah.
They're also, it's like, I'm not to turn this into a Bash the Cops podcast, but know in your heart, if you listen to this podcast, it is always a Bash the Cops podcast, even if it's not coming up. It's also wild because, like, I saw a thing the other day that was like 97 cops have died in the first like 4 months of the year, but 50 something of them are from COVID. So like these, like, it's like the people that also like are like big cop fans also aren't wearing masks and killing the cops. So I think that's pretty dope.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. You just got to look for a bright side in this world, man.
Yeah.
And that's cops dying.
It's the food chain, you know?
Yeah.
The anti-vaxxers kill the cops. The cops, unfortunately, kill unarmed black people. So
yeah.
Something with Catch-22. That's my. I don't know.
It is weird.
It's like I want to throw a riff in.
You want to riff. Also, you want to like talk about this kind of thing because you know we're comics and you want to talk about what's going on in the world, but also like it's not funny. And I understand it. Like people go, "Oh, it's a comic shop to make things funny," and it is to some extent. But then there are just like sometimes a 13-year-old child is murdered, and I just can't find the yucks.
Yeah, right. You can't find like the Jimmy Fallon angle on that.
Yeah. I can't find the pun to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's gonna make this work.
Well, it's also because it still got killed again a week before. It's like,
while
it's just
someone
draining.
else is on trial. My fiance asked how I'm feeling about it was like even before the one today, it happened the other day, but the video came out today. The most recent one, Dante Wright, you know, my girlfriend checked in, or my fiance checked in with me. He's like, you know, how are you handling all this? And I was just like, man, it sucks to say, but it's sort of like I'm fine. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how to say that, like, without saying I'm over it, because I'm certainly not, but like, I also have to go to work. Like, I can't
the
just,
long
you know what I'm
game
saying?
with our emotions.
Yeah. Exactly. Let's go ahead and jump into some of these letters real fast, because I feel like they will change the subject into something that could be weirder.
Yeah.
Question: what is your guys' familiarity level with Dear Abby?
I used to poke around in the newspaper. Didn't she die? And then like her daughter came in as Dear
Her daughter has taken over,
Abby.
yeah, because Dear Abby's been around for like 60 years or whatever. So now it's like her daughter running.
Yeah.
And it's just like sad weirdos. I don't want to say that about everybody, but
what
like,
pass it on to your kid.
I mean, to be fair, what she passed on to her kid is like a very successful career that like I don't know that she's necessarily trained for, you know what I'm saying? I don't know her fucking bona fides.
Are either of them qualified to just be giving every human being advice? I never understood like what was their thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I feel like
no, go ahead.
I feel like it would be my guess, but then I feel like that breaks a therapist code.
Yeah, but also like a lot of here's what I've learned. A lot of these things, somebody qualified should be giving the advice. There's a lot of like abuse victims and drug addictions, things that like people really need help. But then a lot of it is just like the guy, my cubicle neighbor at work farts too much. So there's a lot of like shit that just like they just want somebody to talk to. I think a lot of these people are just lonely.
Yeah. It kind of reminds me of that show Delilah, like that radio show.
Yeah.
You ever heard the Delilah one where like people will call in with the saddest things ever. They'll just be like, my dog died and my husband left. And she's like, all right, here's some Kenny G coming up next. Like she doesn't even acknowledge them. She just like lets them be sad for a second. And
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, she always like career to have.
She likes to throw in God.
She's throwing
radio I think she's still on radio. Yeah, she's on radio for years where it's just like, oh, well, how about you just cuddle up to a fire and think about the ones you love the most? And here's Mariah Carey's.
Yeah, here's Butterflies. So yeah, let me give you, we'll start with a letter and you can get a feel for like the level of some of these letters. Dear Abby, 2 years ago, my younger sister, Scylla, generously set up college funds for my 3 children. Each of the accounts is more than $25,000. My husband and I were stunned, but Scylla insisted she's making good money in the film industry and wanted to do this for her family. 3 months ago, she came to visit, and through a bizarre turn of events, I discovered that she makes her living starring in adult films. Now that I know how Scylla earns her living, I am no longer comfortable accepting her gifts, especially the college funds for the children. This has caused problems between me and my husband. He thinks we should keep the money because we may not be able to afford 3 college tuitions on our own. Abby, I don't want my sister's sexual exploits paying for my kids' education. Should we return the money? And if we do, is it possible to do it without causing a rift between my sister and me? Signed, G-rated sister in San Diego. I'm curious as to what this bizarre series of events was that led to this disclosure. Yeah. Like, I think that the bizarre series of events is your husband saw one of her videos.
Right. Because she didn't come forward. She wasn't like, surprise,
Yeah.
My name's Lexi Steam or whatever. I don't know. I couldn't think of one single real porn star. So I said Lexi Steam. But who knows?
Well, I think you started off with a very porn star addicted, porn star-esque name.
Lexi,
and then and Steam hit, and I was like, oh, that's not.
I think I was just thinking Lexington Steel, but I made like a lady version named Steam. Yeah.
You have some more questions for your sister.
Yeah.
Weird. Do you think? So do they keep the money? I think the answer is unequivocally yes, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's legal money, right? I mean,
people just always keep money.
Yeah.
Just no matter what. If you see money, don't give it to the cops and wait 30 days, blah, 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 blah. No, take the money and then wait and see if some guy wait and see if some No Country for Old Men character chases you down for it. But always take the money, because in the end, you get a cool story about it. You get a movie about you.
Oh, I feel like it does that. So here's the thing. I was with you to a point, but there is an amount of money where I feel like that Anton Chigurh shit catches up quicker. Like if you find a billfold with no ID on it on the ground with a couple $100 on it, keep the money. You can't figure out how to get it back to the person. If you find a duffel bag with $2 million in it, walk away, because there is a much higher level criminal attached to that duffel bag than you are ready to handle.
I think we'd all take like a couple hundreds though, right? It'd be like,
yeah, you got to take a little pinch off it. Come on. I'm not saying,
souvenir.
Yeah, I got to take a picture and a couple bucks, let people know it happened. But also don't go to the cops. I mean, that's obvious.
Just take the tracker. No, and have a lot of fun and leave the money where it was, but just take the tracker with you. Because, like, sure, you might end up dying, but it would be funny if he's like, I killed him, but he doesn't know where the money is. Die playing a prank.
Would that be funny, Nick? I don't know if
you gotta have a very existential humor about this one.
Yeah, and you also have to like be streaming it or something, because otherwise it's a joke for one. Like you're not even gonna get to enjoy the joke. You're dead.
I wonder how recent this came out, because if it's like before the internet, that means not only did her husband like stumble upon one of her sister's videos, he had to like go rent it. So he had to pretend to like accidentally rent the video. Like, whoops, I have 5 of your sister's videos. I guess she's in porn. I had no idea.
Also, it is weird. It's strange. She goes, I'm no longer comfortable accepting her gifts, especially the college funds. Why especially that? Like, that makes, like, I could see her being like, I don't want to accept her, like, actually, I can't think of anything that I wouldn't want to accept. It's perfectly legal money. That's like a generous gift that your sibling's giving you. But like, it would be weird if she was like, I'm going to set up these college funds for your kids, but you have to watch these videos first. That would be a little strange, but just the money?
It's totally fine. Also, she's making good money doing something. The person who wrote this probably has like an English degree. You know what I mean? They probably actually went to college, and she's making real money, you know?
Yeah, think about the money she has. She set up $75,000 in college funds for these 3 kids. Like, man, she's doing just fine.
In the porn in the porn world, that's like a lot of videos, though. You know,
for sure.
Been around,
Or maybe she's got like the baller OnlyFans. Some of those people make a lot of money, I guess.
It's true. She did a lot of
Mia Khalifa like did an interview, and she said that she only made like $12,000 her entire career in porn, which sounds crazy to me. She's like one of the biggest ones.
Yeah, but also, didn't she not do it for that long? I have it in my head that she kind of like got in and got out quick.
Yeah, she did a quick grab. I feel like she did do a quick cash grab.
I mean, I don't know.
No offense to Mia. No offense to Mia.
You sound like she's like, oh, she didn't do it for the love of the game. It was just the money. Like, I think they all do it for that.
Yeah.
No, I think some of them just really like sex.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm sure there is okay, so let's be real. I'm sure that there are a number of them that really like sex, but I can't imagine any of them would be like, I do it for free. Like, if you love doing what you do, you never work a day in your life type of shit. No,
it's like when Dennis Rodman was like, I'll play the game for free. I get paid for the bullshit. But there's a person saying that, like, I'll suck the dicks for free. I get paid for the
waiting around.
Anal.
The press conference.
Have you ever been on a film set? Oh my goodness.
I gotta sit in my sit in my trailer all day. They don't have trailers,
right?
Also, I'm sure the big ones do.
I don't think they do, Nick. I do. I think you have a glamorized version of this. I don't know if there's a lot of sets. It's mostly just unused Airbnbs that they move into for a day and shoot 40 movies. Like, I don't know there's a lot of sound stages and like craft services. Maybe there is. I don't know.
I feel like there is a thing where they're still technically they could be in I don't know if there's a porn acting union, but I feel like there is maybe a level where they are like required to have certain things. I could be wrong. I did read Asa Akira's memoir, and she did not mention anything about a trailer, which goes a point towards you.
Also, interesting. How was that read? Was that like a signed reading in college or something? When did you? No,
my ex bought it at a what do you call that thing? A bookstore, and I think I had finished like a dense like fiction novel, and I was like, I need something like really light to get just to read quickly. And no offense to Asa Akira, my first thought was, oh, there's no way a porn star is writing in a difficult reading level. And so I read her book.
Did you read it? Did you read it like a porn where you like kind of like skipped the first?
Yeah, I only skipped to the sex parts.
And then you kind of skim till you see something you like, you watch that, and then you just cut right to the end, like the last page.
Yeah. Then you close the book in shame immediately after
I
finishing the paragraph.
Shame, and then the next day I went back to that same good part. So,
I
put a Ziploc.
I've read
I put
one
a Ziploc
chapter
bag
of
over it and read it in the shower. I did all the things.
Yeah. I read one chapter of this book 7 times. Let's go ahead and jump into another letter here. Let's go with. Okay, I like this one because I think this person is weird. Dear Abby, I'm concerned about my nephew. His whole life, he has lovingly hugged and kissed on his mother. It was cute when he was a toddler, but now he's a teenager and he continues to drape himself on her and hug and kiss her on the cheek, at home and in public. She does not discourage it. I don't know if my brother-in-law has noticed it or if he just chooses not to see it. I have mentioned this to my sister before, but she has told me I'm too critical. We were in line at the store and I heard people behind us react with audible sighs when they saw the behavior. I am uncomfortable around them. Others have told me that the affection seems excessive. How can I help? I'm afraid there's a problem brewing that needs to be addressed now. Signed, Alarmed in Apple Valley.
Yeah, we got Ed Gein right in the wings right
here. So here's the thing. When you read these letters after a while, and this comes up on the podcast along, you have to realize these are unreliable narrators, right? People are writing in with a lot of their own, it's all their own perspective. So like, can this be a weird thing? Sure. But like, others have told me the affection seems excessive. Have they? Have other people stopped you to point out other people mother-son relationship? That seems unlikely to me.
Well, then he was also like, at the grocery store they did it, and then people were sighing, and it's like, yeah, they're at the grocery store. They're trying to go, they don't care about the.
Yeah, and it's in line. I think they're probably just like, you guys want to move it along? I'm trying to get my groceries.
Yeah. They were probably sighing because they hadn't seen that much affection in their own life. You know what I mean? They were sad that they hadn't experienced that type. They hadn't experienced a cheek to cheek or a hand to the butt cheek on their mom before.
There is as much as I say,
they probably called their mother. They were like, I gotta call my mom and tell her I love her.
Yeah. Oh shit, it's my mom's birthday. I completely forgot. But like, but let's say this is happening. That can be weird, right? Yeah. Like a familial relationship that is too lovey-dovey, and like that's weird to say as someone who's, because like you should be affectionate with your family members, but like you're just an adult. Like I can't imagine being a teenager and constantly wanting to hug my mom. When I was a teenager, I wanted to be like away from my mom as much as humanly possible. You know? Isn't that what
this kid should be like smoking cigarettes in a church parking lot or something, he should be like doing dumb kid stuff and he's hugging his mom.
Yeah. That's our issue. It's not the level of affection. It's the like, why aren't you out doing semi-criminal activities with your friends? Like you're missing a big part of growing up, which is being.
Why can't you just be goth? Why can't you just make your mom and I proud and be goth?
And also, where is dad?
Well, he's writing it, right?
No. So this is about her nephew. So and she says, I don't know if my brother-in-law sees it. So this is her sister, I'm assuming.
Okay.
I'm assuming her sister and her talking about the brother-in-law. So now this thing of like, also, I do want to bring up this part, which is very weird. The last line of I'm afraid there's a problem brewing. Are you?
This is just in the brewing process.
But also, what is this? Do you think they're gonna fuck? Like, what is the problem? You're like, and if you are, you're watching too much Pornhub.
I think she's more afraid that her brother-in-law is going to like get jealous and beat his son.
Wow.
He's getting cucked? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that's it. It's like, oh man, he's getting cucked. He's gonna get worried, and there's gonna be like an intense you know, he gets his buddies together and they shoot his kid. Which honestly, we're thinking of a good movie plot here.
Yeah. We've got a couple good plots here.
Nick, you have to be the next Abby, because you just take every one of these. You just take in a completely different direction. Like, you don't address their problem at all. You just create a new problem. For them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Also, it does seem like
I
Apple
heard bad
Valley.
advice.
Well, you're doing it. You're knocking it out the park,
exactly.
my friend. But it also does seem like Apple Valley is the kind of place where family
what
members
state's
fuck
Apple
each other.
Valley in again?
Nobody knows. I'm gonna say
They didn't say
Pennsylvania.
it, just said Apple Valley.
Yeah, it says alarmed in Apple Valley, so I'm gonna guess that's Pennsylvania or something. But like, what is? It just seems like this woman is creating a problem where there isn't one, and if there is one, it's not hers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
go fucking.
I think the
Go
woman's
grocery
grossed out.
shopping. Don't go grocery. Yeah, the woman's grossed out, but like,
Use Instacart.
yeah. You don't have to go grocery shopping. You go by yourself.
All right. They have Uber Eats now for this.
Yeah. And also, the only other problem I see with this is we're in a pandemic. Y'all need to stop. I don't know if they're in your pod or whatever, but you can't be just up on each other like this.
Yeah.
Maybe he's pissed at his mom. He's trying to kill her. He's got the COVID.
Yeah.
Come on,
Tested
dude.
positive. He's not
this
telling
is him
anybody.
rebelling. Yeah.
I do also think though that, like, let's say this is all real and it's all happened. Can you imagine who are these people at the grocery store that are just like, ugh, that boy loves his mom, gross? Like, who is that? You know what I mean? Like,
I wish he described what was
everybody's
going on
here.
at the grocery store.
yeah,
Because if it is PDA, I think we can all be on everybody's side at the grocery store. When you see a couple, when you see an old couple even like kiss each other at the grocery store, you're like, hey, save the slobber for the house.
yeah, not
All
by
right.
the food. All right, I'm trying to get some pride, believe. Yeah, what like I mean, I guess if it's like they both have their hands in the other one's back pocket, like a couple kids at the roller rink, that
I
might
really
be...
love the idea. I love the idea of mother's son hands in the back pocket.
Yeah.
He just walks up to her. He walks up to her every morning and just motorboats her. You know.
Yeah. You got anything left in these things? Huh?
Yeah. We can go ahead and jump into some more because I've got a bunch full. This is an interesting one. Dear Abby, I am a 38-year-old man with no children. For some reason, I tend to attract the attention of children wherever I go.
Oh, man. Come on, dude.
Even though I make no attempt to speak to them, they often approach me. I know when children talk to strangers, it makes their parents uncomfortable, but I don't want to be rude to the kids.
I'm writing this from the future.
Yeah. I was recently eating at an outdoor restaurant when a friendly little girl walked up, sat herself down at my table, and began asking me questions. I was terse but polite. She was soon joined by several other kids, all of whom seated themselves at my table. Their parents, who had obviously not been paying attention, shouted at them to get away from that man. It created an embarrassing scene with the parents telling me I had no business talking to their kids. The other diners looked at me as though I was some kind of pervert. I don't want to be rude to children, but what can I do to prevent things like this from happening? Signed, Crying Uncle in Texas. Crying
come on. I
in,
was waiting.
in parentheses.
I was waiting for
interesting.
what his signature was going to be, because I was hoping it was going to be like sad clown or something. Or,
Yeah,
Merv
yeah,
the
yeah.
Perv.
Pantsless at McDonald's. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting. That wasn't even a Dear Abby letter. That was just an excerpt from Woody Allen's autobiography. I just don't understand why I can't talk to kids.
You just don't. When you love a kid, why can't you just love a kid?
Well, it's your stepkid, and you can love them. You just can't marry them, you creep. I also, again, with the unreliable narrator.
Yeah.
What kind of Pied Piper horseshit world does this man live in, where he's just being flooded by children everywhere he goes?
He's talking like he's in the Wiggles or something. Like he's like some guy that kids like.
Signed Big Bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm just trying to smoke a cigarette on my break. He's got his mouse head in his lap.
That is one to the point where I'm like, there's no way that's real. There's no way that, like, to your point, that guy has this Pied Piper like ego to him, where it's like, there's no way this guy is actually like, what the hell? 9-year-olds love just touching my crotch. I don't understand.
Just raining kids over here.
Also, I do like the idea that, like, when he's at like just a table full of unattended to children just flocked to him. And then the other diners looked at me as though I was some kind of pervert. Yeah, understandably. You're bothering their children.
Yeah.
They don't know
get
you.
Contacts or shave your mustache, wear contacts, do something.
Yeah. Also, stop dropping candy everywhere you go. I don't know.
Yeah.
This guy's acting like being rude to a kid is like the worst crime you could.
Yeah.
You can just be rude to the kid. You can be like, go away, I'm eating. Like, you're not my kid.
100%. And also, if this is a thing, let's say again, he has some weird pheromone thing that just attracts children, right? We're just putting that out as like this situation is 100% real. Just stand up. If this is a problem in your life to such a degree that you have to write the newspaper, then at some point when a kid walks over, you have to go, excuse me, whose kid is this? I'm trying to eat my dinner. You have to be like very outward about it.
It's like, why are you so afraid of this kid?
Yeah. Bunch of 6-year-olds with switchblades constantly surrounding this guy in public.
Hey, well, I feel like he wrote a rough draft of this, and he did say, "Dear Abby, kids are attracted to me, and I want to fuck them." No, I'll leave that part out.
Yeah. But also, I do feel like he did write it. I think you're right. And I think it was just like, kids are attracted to me. And whoo, boy, is it rough. And it's like, hold on. I shouldn't say attracted to me. Let me say attracts the attention. Like, he does. This has like third draft energy to it.
He's almost like he's writing as if he's hoping that Abby tells him to just go for it and ask him. You know, he's like, I mean, at a certain point, I think I got to make a move, you know?
Yeah, he does.
Dear uncle, shoot your shot. All right.
Yeah. I also, you got to stop hanging out in ball pits. Like, where are these interactions happening? That you're the only solo person in a restaurant full of children.
Because he goes to the park. He sits at a park, and the kid runs up to him. Maybe get a dog. No, don't get a dog.
Dog's gonna attract kids.
No. What's an animal kids hate?
I don't know if there's any. Like, even like snakes might get rid of girls, but they'll get little boys. Like a porcupine. Maybe you gotta have a porcupine.
There you go. Yeah, get like a pet porcupine. Yeah, let's see that kid go.
We lost Nick.
Pet it, and he goes, "Yeah, go ahead, do it." And then boom, he gets all chance from that dog movie in his hand.
Yeah, bees. That's what you do. Just become a bee.
Yes.
Get one of those beekeeper suits or whatever.
Become a bee guy.
I do.
It's true. I have never seen a kid hang out with a beekeeper. I agree with you on that.
Well, the only kid I know with bees is the girl in My Girl is Macaulay Culkin, and he died.
Yeah, he's got to put on his glasses.
Yeah.
In the movie, right?
Right, yeah.
He's still with us. Oh.
Yeah, he just had a kid, I think. Mazel tov to Macaulay Culkin.
Oh, yeah.
In the news there. Yeah, I think if we have to give this person advice, it's like you're an adult. You can
go to
away
a bar.
From kids. Yeah. 100%. Go to where there aren't kids.
That's the thing, is like, I'm thinking of my life, because I'm like just a single guy with no kids. I'm so rarely in a situation where there's any children around. Like if I'm at a place and I see a kid walk by, I am kind of just like, what the fuck? Like,
It's weird.
No, nothing gets me more angry than if I'm at a party and there's a kid there, because then I have to compete for attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You're both gonna be fighting for the hammock or whatever. Yeah. Stop being around kids. This is you're an adult. It is very easy for this to not be a problem, sir. Right. We can move on to I like this one because it's stupid. I have a friend, dear Abby, I have a friend named Dick who wears veteran hats, Vietnam vet, proud to be a Marine, etc., that imply he was in the service. The problem is Dick was never in any branch of the military at any time. Dick claims he's honoring them by wearing the hats, but when he goes into a restaurant or other place that offers military discounts, he always inquires about them. And he has never refused the offer of one or admitted he wears the slogans only to honor others and was never actually in the service himself. I come in contact with real military service people who deserve to wear these hats. I asked a couple of them about what to do with Dick, but you can't reprint their responses. Abby, what's your take? Signed, Values Honesty in Ohio. I'll
I
come.
I
go
say,
ahead,
girl,
Nick.
keep your mouth shut. Keep your mouth
Stop
shut. Let him do
snitching.
it.
That's
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
100%.
Thank you.
Let the man work the system, you know?
Yeah.
Yes.
If he's gonna get
100%.
10% off at Denny's, leave him the fuck alone.
Yeah. What? How good is a 10%? I'm glad you said that because we all go, oh, he's stealing the military discount. I've worked at places that have a military discount. It's not a good deal.
Yeah. It's certainly not
that good
worth
of a deal.
It's certainly not worth enlisting. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Oh
Watch
man,
your
I'd
best
love to
friend
see
get
the-
his legs blown off so
Yeah.
that you can get.
I'd love to see a child be bombed by a drone just so I can get hams off my moonies.
Yeah, military discounts are just like, you're like, how much is this? They're like $9.99. You're like, I was in the military. They're like $9.99 and thank you for your service. Like, it's just
All
them
right,
being like, oh,
$9.81 here, buddy.
yeah. It's like 8 cents. Yeah, exactly.
So they do call this they call it stolen valor. I have
Right.
spent a fair amount of time on the internet looking up stolen valor cases because I do find it funny because none of them ever, because some of them go to like the wild extremes. It's not just like, oh, this guy's he's an old guy who's wearing a hat that says Vietnam vet or whatever, and probably a Blue Lives Matter shirt, I'm assuming. But if you ever look up, like, search like stolen valor on Google, and it'll be a guy who's wearing like 900 medals. His vest is just covered from fucking chin to belly button in medals. And it's like, dude, you gotta like, look, if you're gonna pretend, you gotta pretend reasonable. Give yourself, like, you're not a full bird colonel. You like make yourself a private. You got like 2 awards.
Dear Abby, my best friend, he has a Punisher tattoo, and everybody thinks he's a cop. But in reality, he just works on a garbage truck. What should I do about it?
How come it's not okay to do the military thing, but it's totally okay to wear a jersey that says Tim Duncan on it? You know, it's like, you're not Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
You're trying to get free tickets.
No, agreed. Also, the only thing better than stolen valor, and that makes people angrier on the internet, because I have gone down weird rabbit holes in my life, is people that pretend to be martial artists on the internet is very funny. Because like when I was 12, I for sure pretended to know karate, but I was 12. These are full grown adults that then will like open a karate dojo and just not know karate, and it makes me very happy to know those people exist.
Oh, you gotta say it's a great way. I feel like that's just them being like, this is a great way to get a little bit of money, because people want to learn to fight. That's the thing.
Yeah,
people have this urge to fight, and so they're like, well, people have an urge to fight. I one time slapped a woman on accident. This is a perfect chance to get a little money for it, and 5% of the proceeds will go to the shelters.
yeah, they're not giving money to anybody. Just shelters in general. We don't know hack shelters.
By abused shelters, I just mean rundown homes. Houses with too big of a lawn. You know what I mean? Abused shelters.
Well, what I love about people who do karate, like adults who like quote unquote do it, is like they're never in any situations where they'd have to fight anyone. You know, they're just like, I work at Kinko's and I like to do trivia sometimes and I like to make tea at my house. Like, you're never going to be in a situation where you need to fight anyone.
And my balance is incredible.
Yeah. I got a 401k, you know, you're doing good.
Also, it is very funny to see adults do, like, in this day and age when like mixed martial arts is a thing, and you can like, we kind of know what martial arts work. Because like if Taekwondo worked, they would just do that shit in the UFC, right? But they don't. So when you see an adult that's like still doing Taekwondo, it's either somebody who's just like, it's a fun exercise. I like, you know, it's like my bowling league. I go on Thursdays, it gets me out of the house. Or they're just like, I can snap a man's arm with 2 movements, and it's like, I don't know that you can, man. I think you're in a class with 4 other children. You know what I mean? Like,
they're always the type of people who like you walk up and you're like, "Hey, Greg," and they're just like, "No, you can't sneak up on me like that, man."
Like, exactly.
Don't sneak up on me, man. My training.
An adult who did karate just learned a couple pressure points. And
I used to when I was I used to work with a dude briefly who was like one of these guys, and we'd be like out on like you'd have to walk off of like off campus or whatever to smoke cigarettes off of like you couldn't smoke in front of the store on your break or whatever. So we would go off this thing, and he would constantly just be like assessing. He'd be like just saying shit like, "Oh, this terrain's not great if you had to get into a Scrabble or whatever," and it's like, what do you? We're wearing the same shirt, man. There's no reason for us. You don't have to be scared.
It's terrain. It's a strip mall.
Yeah, exactly.
This is an outlet mall.
We are behind a Marshalls, my friend. No, the ninjas aren't coming. Can you scale it back?
Dude, I'm telling you, you couldn't be able to climb through the clothes of the young boys section over there if somebody came in here.
I used to work at a meat market, and there was a guy who was like in the military before, and he would do that thing where you'd be like, and it like those rooms are like loud too because there's just like generators going and stuff. So it's always just like, so you have to be loud. And so people would just be like, "Hey, Brett," and he'd be like, "Duh!" You like he like turn around. And he'd be like, "You can't sneak up on me like that. You can't be so loud." I'm like, "I gotta be loud, man. It's loud, and how do I not do that?"
Do you also know what the difference is? You can't also sneak up and be loud. There are two different things. I announce my presence. No one is going to start attacking you by yelling, "Hey, Brent." Like that's not how that would work. But also, let's talk about the person who wrote this letter for a second. Like we said in the beginning, either stop hanging out with this person if it bothers you so much, or I don't even know. Like you wrote. Imagine being so mad at this, and you're like, they in no place say they are a veteran. They don't say my dad died in the war. There's no like connection to him, so I'm always more annoyed at the person who wrote this like making it about themselves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is also in a way it's like they're stealing valor because it's like, why are you offended? You weren't in the military.
You're offended on behalf of the military. Exactly.
Now you're doing the same thing.
And I get mad. You ever been on a plane and like this is like more closer to like I would say like closer to 9/11 than now. I think at this point people stop pretending to care about the military so much, but like it used to be a thing to be on a plane and like a dude in military garb would get on and people would like applaud, and it's like you don't know this motherfucker, like you're clapping for a dude because he's wearing camo, but like so do most of the racist people I know, like you know what I'm saying, like I grew up just being bullied by people wearing camouflage. That doesn't make you a good person.
It would be great if a guy walked into a plane and he was wearing the bright orange vest you wear as a hunter, and everyone stood up and started clapping.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. We appreciate you. And then there's always some bullshit where you see somebody go like, "Oh, somebody gave up their first class seat for a guy flying in the home from the military or whatever," and it's like, I don't know, sir. You know how much this seat costs?
Yeah, exactly. It sounds like they're not getting paid well enough.
Yeah. Also, you're. No, go ahead. No, you're good.
I was gonna say it just seems like such overkill when like anyone like people in the military wear like their uniform out like doing anything non-military related. You know, like if I'm at an IHOP and I see a guy just it's like, what do you think's gonna happen at this IHOP, dude? Like
it is like I remember years ago. I remember years ago I was watching like a baseball game, and like to play a prank on the rookies, they had this video of they made the rookies go get Starbucks in their baseball uniforms before the game. And it's like, any other job you do, it's embarrassing if you're wearing your uniform outside of that job. But for some reason,
anytime I see a military person, I'm always just like, are you on break? Like, I don't understand why you're in that outfit. Like, you could change.
Just get your wallet. Like, are you coming back to
a guy in Iraq who's like, oh, what do you say we fly to Chipotle and go get some lunch?
Speaking of restaurants, where is it? Because this is what I found like is just the dumbest thing I've read in a minute. Dear Abby, my coworkers and I recently went out to eat, and I was put in an awkward situation. One of them announced that I had left a big tip when I paid my bill. Abby, I always leave a generous tip. I was raised well below the poverty line, and my mother's tips literally determined how much we'd be able to eat that day. The coworker who said it became upset with me and began lecturing me about how rude it is to leave a large tip, especially when you're with other people. She even said it degrades the server. My mom may have raised me differently than most people, but I was taught that it's okay to leave a big tip as long as you don't announce it to everyone. Was what I did considered rude? Signed, Generous in Connecticut.
What? Oh, wow.
Like, you guys, Andrew, I don't know. Have you ever worked at Nick? You've worked in places that were tipped, right? I'm pretty sure.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
Andrew, have you ever worked in like a tipping environment?
Yeah, well, I work for a moving company now, and you're supposed to tip movers, and a lot of people don't know that. But
yeah,
there's a lot of like weird etiquette with that. But
have you ever gotten a tip that was so big it hurt your feelings?
Yeah.
Like, wow, thanks for patronizing me with this money. Yeah, I'm not a baby. Okay, you can take it back. Yeah,
also,
that's ridiculous.
That philosophy this person has is the same of this like unskilled worker people. We're like, don't tip them well, or they're going to want to keep doing this unskilled job, and they're never going to apply themselves further than serving food.
Right, but also like, we need people to serve food. Like, I don't understand those people's logic. Is like, you were currently served by someone. You want them to like.
Yeah.
Not sneeze in your food, right? Also, I mean, let's start with the fact that like tipping, first off, obviously tip a lot, tip as much as you can, tip. It's fucking weird that we do that as a society, right? The idea that like certain jobs you get to just pay a slave wage because other people are gonna make up that money. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. There aren't other.
I just think there's always BS. You get taxed on a tip.
Yeah, fucking human, like the people do, right? Servers and shit. You get taxed on your tips. Every tipping job I've ever had, I was tipped out under the table, so I can thank you for the service. But there's always that thing of like other people come to this country and they don't know how to tip. Yeah, because no other country has this archaic bullshit. You just pay people for the job they were doing, and they don't need to like hope that the people they work that didn't come from church that Sunday and are going to leave you a fucking chick track as opposed to a tip.
Yeah, you're competing with God at that point. It's not fair. You know, the system's worked against you.
Yeah, and also, who is this other person? Like, imagine making so I can only assume that the coworker just didn't tip, right? Just flat out didn't tip, and then somebody. Because we're in a group, right? So then somebody saw that they didn't tip, and now they have to make a big show about how, like, oh, what you did was so rude. Like, quit your job. That's what I have to say. That's my advice. Don't work with these people. They're bad.
Yeah. I think I have a solution for because, you know, like you said, people come from other countries, and then they're like, why do I have to tip? So we need to bring back the monarchy system in America. I think that's the solution.
So you think like fiefdoms? You want to bring back?
Yeah, because those countries aren't tipping. Boom, awesome, figured it out.
Okay, those countries aren't tipping, but like, you know, they also don't. I mean, you want like a British monarchy where they're just there to be like rich and racist, or like an actual like fiefdom? I'm not sure how this suggestion helps.
I just say if that gets rid of the tipping, let's do it.
Okay, but you aren't making up for the salary in this. You're more just like getting rid of tipping.
Oh, no. Once you add that thing, it's salary there.
Okay, that works. My mom may have raised me differently than most people, but I was taught it's okay to leave a big tip. Whose mom is teaching them not? What kind of monsters are like?
Honestly, I don't know. Who do you think it would come more from, moms or dads? The hey, don't worry about a tip thing, because I honestly think it would be more from the mom side.
So I definitely like my parents were always there. Like, we didn't have money growing up, so like going out to eat was like a real special occasion. But when like anywhere that wasn't like, we got a pizza or Chinese food or something, like if we were like sitting down at a restaurant, it was like a big deal. But they would always make a point of like tipping, and like I remember being an adult and like hearing my white friends being like, oh, I would always have to, if I go out with my parents, I have to go back and check to make sure they tipped enough or whatever. So I was like, oh shit, are my parents like not tipping enough? And I would always look and be like, no, they tip like a ton of money. So I wonder if I think poor. Well, my point is, I think poor people are more likely to tip than rich people.
No, I think that's true, and it's also because like poor people, they know what it's like. They know how much tips matter, and then also rich people that don't know, like they don't understand what money means to poor people, like. Because like they'll also do that thing where they'll leave a shitty tip, but they'll act like it's awesome.
Yeah.
Like a nice little 5 spot for you there, buddy. That should get you rent or whatever. Like they just don't know like what poor people's bills look like. So just coming over and the amount of money.
Yeah, there's nothing worse than like I remember that so many times working a bar and they'd be like, and you can keep the change, and it would literally just be change, just be 75 cents, and it's like. Oh, Nick's breaking up a little bit.
Oh yeah, Nick, you're breaking up bad, buddy.
You're breaking up, bud. Maybe why don't Nick, can you hear us? Yeah, a little bit. Maybe refresh your internet.
I wonder if it's my
It sounds internety. It sounds like it's lagging.
I can hear you guys pretty well.
Word.
Yeah, I'm just on data.
You sound a little bit like a cyborg.
Yeah, you're a little cyborgy right now. As a matter of fact, let me check we're at 46 minutes. We'll do maybe 1 or 2 more and we'll wrap this up. Let me get back to my letters. This one is here we go. Dear Abby, I work for supermarkets as a merchandiser, and a day doesn't go by when I don't see customers eat food they have not yet purchased while they shop. I was taught as a child that items in a supermarket are not yours to consume until they are first paid for at the register. A supermarket is not a restaurant. You pay for the food before you eat it. I am sure many people forget they handed their child a muffin from the bakery display to keep him or her occupied while they shop. And how can a store weigh the grapes you ate while browsing in the aisles? This is stealing, and parents send the wrong message to their children by letting them graze on the products the store is selling. By the way, employees are not allowed to say anything to the customers when they see it happen. This practice not only keeps prices higher, but is also unhygienic. Shopping carts are filthy. They are rarely cleaned. Pushing a cart and eating a cookie is a perfect way to pick up a serious foodborne illness. Abby, what are your thoughts? Supermarket merchandiser in New York. This guy owns a supermarket, right? Can we just agree that this dude, there's no way you just work at a supermarket and care about this.
Yeah.
Do you guys?
Especially if you're a merchandiser, they don't give a shit. I used to work at a grocery store. The merchandisers wouldn't care. There could be a part of the store on fire, and if it wasn't near them, they'd be like,
"Yeah, if I work for Frito-Lay's, motherfucker, I don't."
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
They're just there as a temp. That doesn't matter.
Do you guys eat in the grocery store while you shop sometimes?
Sometimes from bulk, but
yeah.
I feel like if you want to steal from a grocery store, you got to get a job there, and then it's fine.
Yeah.
When I worked at a grocery store, I never felt bad. I'd like go through the bulk section. I'd just be grabbing stuff. I didn't give a shit. But
yeah, the bulk section feels like the move, particularly at your fancier grocery stores.
Right.
They have like pistachios in the bulk section. You're like, I can get $30 worth of pistachios in like a fistful. These shit's expensive.
Yeah.
I knew a guy. Wait, how is that?
It's all right. We'll make do.
Okay. I knew a guy. I remember I went to the grocery store with him one time, and he grabbed the 2-liter Dr. Pepper and just started drinking it as he was going through. But then, like when he went to check out, he still paid for it, but it was just an empty bottle of 2-liter Dr. Pepper.
He's got bigger issues, which is you down to 2-liter of Dr. P in a visit.
It was like crunched up, and I remember I was like, "Can you do that?" He's like, "I'm gonna pay for it," and I was like, "Yeah, but like, should you do
it?" I mean, should you do it? Like, steal, that's fine, but like, man, diabetes is real, brother. You can't be drinking all that. 2 liters a lot. What are you, ICP?
Yeah. I think the theme with all of these Dear Abby letters is I just can't understand being a person who cares enough about any of these things. And they're all, a lot of them are grocery store related.
There's a lot of
it's just like, when I'm in a grocery store, I can barely focus on what I need to be doing. Like I can barely focus on what I need to be getting. Like I'm so distracted. If I saw someone stealing someone, I'd be like, okay, like I I don't
If I
care.
normally if I still see somebody stealing something, I'm like, good for you.
Yeah, right. Yeah, just go.
I used to
on.
work at Kmart back in the day, a super Kmart that had like it was like a grocery store and a Kmart, and people would steal all the time. I would absolutely let them. If they were nice to me when I worked the register, I would steal for them. I would just like not ring certain things up and put it in their bag. Like the whole you're paying me at that time. I don't even know. It was probably $7.25. It was definitely minimum wage. So whatever minimum wage, $6.50 at the time. You're stealing from me by me being here. So like, I will absolutely never pay for lunch, and people can steal whatever they want. It's not my stuff.
Yeah, I would I would always break it down. I'd be like, I'm actually spending more money coming to work than I'm making from work. Like, I'm spending more money on gas and lunch than I'm making today for like a 5-hour shift.
Yeah. And then also like it's food. At the end of the day, you're stealing food. I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? You're not like if you even like regardless, let's be real. If you took a flat screen and walked out, I'm also not saying anything because I don't care. But like if you're really just stealing some like this guy, and also this guy, the food he picks out, it's like, how can they charge for those grapes? You mean like the 8 cents of grapes? I don't know. Fucking figure it out. Like
yeah, if someone saw me eating one pistachio and they're like, you got to pay for that, I'd just be like, how?
Yeah,
like, how do you suggest?
yeah. The scale is not sensitive enough to pay for this.
The bag weighs more than the nut, so I don't even know how it would be rigged to begin with.
Well, that's also Nick Saverino's autobiography. The bag weighs more than the nut. The Nick Saverino story.
Damn right about that.
I don't know what it means. I didn't know what it means when I said it. I didn't know what it means when you double down on it. It's just a funny thing.
And it's like it never comes up in the book. It's all just about the St. Louis Cardinals.
Yeah, it's a bit baseball. A lot of baseball
bag or a
nut. Okay, let's do one more of these letters and then we can wrap it up for the night. Where's my letters? Here we go. Sorry, I had to jump screens for a second. Let's pick a good weird one. We did you. Oh, okay. Dear Abby, my wife thinks it's funny when she hits me. The other day, I was splitting some wood and decided to take a break. I began driving golf balls into the field. She came out, grabbed the club out of my hands, and whacked me in the leg with it. When I asked her why, she said, "Get back to work," and started laughing. I was left with a large welt and a big bruise. Another time, she bought some king crab legs for dinner. When I asked her if she was serving anything else with them, she picked up a crab claw and hit me in the forehead with it. She thought it was funny. I ended up in the emergency room with 3 stitches. Last night, I was trying to add up our bills on the computer. She walked in and smacked me in the chin with the keyboard. She said I should be able to do the bills on paper like a normal person. We've been together 9 years, married for 3. I love her with all my heart, but I'm getting tired of her little jokes. How can I approach her? I want her to know how I feel, but I am afraid to offend her or make her angry. Signed, Frustrated in Oregon.
Sounds like his wife's Johnny Knoxville.
So, like, here's the thing.
Married to the Jackass crew.
Men can obviously be in domestic abuse situations, right? Like, let's not be. I'm not trying to get men's rights activisty, but like anybody can be abused. That's a real thing that happens to people.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure that's what's happening here. It is a little weird, but I do think she thinks it's like good old fashioned roughhousing fun or something. At least, you know what I mean? I did until the keyboard and the chin part. Cause like, that's wild. Like if you picked up, like you're typing on a keyboard, somebody walks up, picks it up and hits you in the face with it. That's like,
his wife is funny. Like, I don't know what to say. Like,
it is hilarious.
You got to fight. Like that's a fight at that point.
Like you do that. Like she should have done that. It was like, that's your password, you idiot.
Yeah.
Fucking weak.
But like, do you know what I'm saying? Do we think this is just like this man needs to leave or get help because he's being abused? Or does he just need to be like, hey, quit it. I have stitches in my forehead. You can't hit me with crab claws.
Well, yeah, just definitely at some point bring up the fact that you're not cool with being hit all the time. You know?
Yeah.
I don't think it's crazy to think that's the next step in this guy's.
I feel like he's leaving out the part where he tickles her all the time and she shits her pants when she gets tickled or something.
For sure.
So as a person who does tickle his fiance and also gets hit when he does it, that you're speaking a lot of truth there. But to be fair, those hits are like it's not like I tickle her, then a day later she punches me. It's like I tickle her and she goes stop, and she like smacks me and you know what I mean? Like
classic, it's
like, stuff. It's a proportional response. You know what I'm saying?
Getting tickled is a I've grown to have like maybe I shouldn't say this in public. I'm very ticklish, and I've grown to have a when someone starts to tickle me, I've now gotten like stern about it, where it's like I need you to not do this because what's going to happen is I'm going to lose control of my body and I'm going to hit you, and we don't know what could happen to you.
yeah. Well, but here's
for some reason, kids like hanging out near me.
For some reason, kids keep tickling me in public. I don't know what it is. It's
That's
probably
you
because
talking. You're tickling your mom. It's the guy from the first one. He's being tickled by his mom now.
I do. So, like, as I'm reading it, they are a little wild. Like, there's one thing if like your girlfriend likes to, you know, she smacks you on the ass or whatever, you know, she punches you in the punch Buggy Blue or something. But like the first one, she hit him with a golf club. The second one, she hits him in the face and sends him to the hospital. And then the third one, he's doing the bills for the house and she hits him in the face with the keyboard. The more I read it, the more serious I think this is.
It's also like the least like tough guy things he starts to do, the more she starts to bully him.
Yeah.
He's chopping wood. Fine. He gets the golf course. All right, or he gets the golf club she hits, and then he starts doing taxes.
He asks about dinner. She hits him with a fucking crab. Yeah. Also, you got to know you can't. You ever seen a king crab leg? You got to know you can't hit somebody in the face. Also, I do kind of think he missed his window to say something. If you don't say something after the hospital visit, you're like, you've kind of given some passive approval to this kind of behavior.
I feel like each of these incidents are based on her finding out about another woman, though. Because, like, you know, at the golf course, she like sees him on a date. She sees him, you know, like hears him talking to his buddies, you know, and then the computer, he's like looking up, he's watching porn or something.
Yeah. That's true. Also, we don't
catches him on a date at Red Lobster. I don't know, you know. Like,
I do. I mean, like I said, I feel bad for this guy because he is clearly like that last one, man. It's so disrespectful. I'm here trying to pay the bills, and then you just hit me in the face. I can't. I imagine the letter is changed and it's just roommate. It's not wife. It's like my roommate thinks it's funny to hit me all the time. You got to fight that dude. That is not, you either got to like move out or throw hands. Those are your only choices at this point.
Well, you know, I guarantee he sends this letter to Dear Abby and he sends it in anonymity. I guarantee every time it's happened, even with the stitches, he's like, it's just like how we mess around though.
Yeah.
Like around his friends.
Yeah. But also that does everything we're saying. Again, not to get men's rights activist, but if everything we're saying, if these roles were reversed and this woman was like, it was a woman going, Dear Abby, my husband he hit me in the face with a crab leg while
we would be like,
dinner.
Your husband's funny.
My husband rolled me off the roof onto a trampoline. It's like really
weird Rube Goldberg devices.
Yeah. Like,
my husband made a chicken lay an egg into a frying pan that flipped up into a mannequin arm. Let a bowling ball down a ramp into my forehead.
You may know his name. It's Rube Goldberg.
My husband painted an open road on the wall, and so I started running towards it, and I just hit myself.
All right. I think that's a good place as any to wrap up. Guys, Nick, where can people find you on the internet? What do you got going on?
My Twitter's at Sav and Saverino, and my Instagram's at Saverino, and I'm doing a show at the Paramount in Austin on April 29th, so that's one to check out.
Definitely do that. Murph Dog, how about you? What's going on?
Yeah, at Shut Up Murphy on Twitter and Instagram. I'm always putting stand-up stuff up there. You can see when I have shows coming up. Yeah, and check out me and Avery Moore's show, The Joke of Painting, first Monday of the month at Spider House Ballroom.
Perfect. I am at Chris Cubis on all social media. You can check me out on excuse me, I'm coughing. I have this is gonna be too late. It's tonight. I just realized I'm doing a fucking Master Pancake, but it's tonight, so you missed that. I'll be on Faded LA's Drunken Spelling Bee on May 7th. But again, at Chris Cubis on all social media. If you like the show, rate, review, subscribe. 5 stars if you would. We really appreciate it. And we'll be back next week with more bad advice.